Go ahead.
Welcome back to another episode of the Critic Corp, ladies and gentlemen. Today we are joined by all of us. I got my lovely co-host Jordy, and we got our co-host Malcolm, aka Toke.
How you doing?
Now, today we are going to be talking about The Last of Us, and not only The Last of Us, but the brand new episode that could possibly be Toke's favorite episode of the season so far. So, with that, I'm not going to go to Toke. We're going to start off hot with Jordy's take on this, and then we'll scoot over.
I thought this was a phenomenal episode. Honestly, if you would have cut the Joel and Ellie stuff out, this could have been a mini movie of just about a couple surviving the apocalypse together. I thought this was fucking fantastic character work. You learn all about Bill within like a few scenes, that he's a recluse. He's a
From the opening scene, man.
the people who prepare for the apocalypse. He's one of those people that's like cut off from society. And he meets this guy who he accidentally falls into his trap. And it's just an awesome love story, to be honest. Like, I was drawn in, I was supporting them the entire time. When they finally sit down and Frank tells Bill that it's gonna be his last day, that shit was so fucking heartbreaking.
Spoiler alert, people. All right, if you
We're
want to
jumping
cut off,
into it.
watch
I'm
it.
gonna label it a spoiler fucking review. And we're gonna
Yeah,
get demonetized. Not that we're making any money on this. Fuck, fuckity, fuck, fuck.
facts. But
But
no, that scene with the wine too.
dude, when he brings out the wine and the rabbit again,
Right when I saw the
this
rabbit
this
come
boy
out,
Toke doesn't
and
believe in love.
it was it.
Hey, I'm just sitting here, bro. I'm just sitting here.
And then you get the little stuff with Joel and Ellie, like at the beginning when they're going into that gas station where Joel hid away the stuff and everything.
Mhm.
I just thought the character work with them and them bonding now is being really well done, well told. Bella Ramsey as Ellie is killing it, in my opinion. Pedro Pascal been killing it, going to keep killing it. Nick Offerman as Bill. This is way different than what we've seen him do, but at the same time, it's almost the more serious Ron Swanson.
Yeah, like
Ron
we
Swanson
already
was
had
correct
him.
this entire time. You need to be self-preserving.
He's everything that I wanted and more.
Dude, he was awesome. I love this episode. It changed a lot from the game, supposedly. I'd never played the game. I've read a lot and watched like the playthroughs just because I heard it was a great story. But honestly, I am loving the series so far. This episode might be my favorite just because, like, from beginning to end, it was like a whole story, like one self-contained story. You got the beginning, the middle, the end. I thought
Mhm.
this was really well done. I think that this show is going to get all the awards next year. I love this show so far.
Oh yeah, man. Thank you for giving us your thoughts on this. I do have to agree though with the rabbit up is right when he brought the rabbit dish out again. I felt that real hard, and just their whole relationship that they had. I was sucked into it immediately. And it's not really the story I thought I was going to be interested in. Considering everything else that was going on in the world, I thought like just, somebody held up in their own house would probably be the most boring thing to watch. But no, like it's still talking about all the things that you would still be feeling in that time. Like such as just Frank wanting to tidy up, like paint and like make a little city so that way he felt comfortable. Like things like that, I could easily see that happening.
Oh, can I just bring up one more thing?
Go for it.
At the beginning, when you can tell that this man has no purpose on this earth, to when he's talking about his purpose, oh my goodness, that entire story arc, perfect. And I
I love that you said it was like a mini movie because it really was.
fuck you, Disney Plus. Fuck you for these 30-minute episodes. This was an hour 20. Did I fall asleep the first couple times trying to watch it? Yes. I was tired. I had just watched the Bengals and the Chiefs game, just dealt with that bullshit. But you know what? I love this episode. Continue. My bad.
No, bro, all valid points. I thought from start to finish it was a hit. The part that you said, like, you didn't think they needed it with Ellie and Joel, I agree, but at the same time, I thought that it was brought in nicely to where you could still kind of see the storyline that was going on. You're getting all the little pieces. Each episode, when it opens, you're finding out something new about how the outbreak happened. So, like, the first episode was like from 1968, and you had just the doctors talking about something that could. Then you have what did in 2003. Now you got it to where there's a kid that grew up in this zone, doesn't really understand how everything mutated and what came from it, or how everybody got the first bite. So it helped explain it to even the audience. Like, hey, as simple as eating pancake mix, having like the yeast in the bread, like all of that adds up. And if you have too much of it, then shit just takes over your body. So I loved seeing all of that tie in. And even though it was just a little bit with them, it helped build the storyline to keep it moving. But as far as just Bill and Frank, man, right from the get go, you could kind of see like Bill just didn't want him around. He wanted nothing to do, but he was still lonely. He curious about the idea of company is what I would say.
Mm-hmm. Oh, when he has the gun pointed at Joel at the like
Yeah.
garden party thing.
Mm-hmm. So I think after that, it really helped him grow. But if they were still alive and Ellie and Joel walked up, how do you think they would have reacted? That's the only thing that I think would have been cool to see is I would love to see how Bill's reaction to Ellie would have been.
I mean, we saw in the game, but honestly, like, I think this was the better way to go.
Oh yeah, it was still like it was a gentle close.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't like their whole story wasn't needed in order
this
to
was
make
the
sense.
happy episode.
Yeah. Something bad's happening. We're gonna get some red wedding vibes next episode. I can feel it.
Let's
But
hear what this motherfucker has to say.
let's see what you have to talk about for your favorite episode.
Boo. Boo.
Like I said, this episode, it was, it was needed, but it wasn't needed. I feel like they didn't have to get that deep into their love life. Like, obviously, yeah, they had to do that to tie back into how Joe got the truck and all them guns, all that mess. Because they would have just did him and Ellie pulling up, and he just opening the gate and shit with no explanation, then yeah, it would have been stupid and sloppy dialogue. But as far as like a best episode, I would say probably the first one off the jump was because that shit was crazy. Like it was starting off everything. Like they were trying to get out of the town, people, the army and shit, don't know who to kill. Like it was like right as the breakout happened. That it was so much chaos going on. That was like my favorite episode, honestly. The second episode, it was starting to simmer up a little bit, but that first episode was just it was golden. It was golden. This episode was good. Like I said, don't get me wrong. I'm not hating on Frank and Bill and their relationship, but I feel like it could have been briefly summarized. It didn't have to go the whole goddamn hour.
Most definitely sounds like a hater to me.
Like
But
it could have been some. They showed their whole lifespan. Like, come on now. That was that, that was just that was just something I felt like it could have been briefly summarized.
I
It
like
was
that you
sweet.
said the military though. Everybody, you said the military earlier, Jordy, about it with the this episode showed more on how the military was involved.
Oh, the
Like where
QZ.
they herded, like even when they had all the people that weren't infected, they just herded them into a little zone like cattle and shot them all because they didn't have a
Oh
zone
yeah,
for it.
Almost had like burn pit type things.
Yeah. So I mean, like in the end, like you didn't need all of the like details, but every single little detail that you got from their like love story movie sequence that went on gave into like little details for what the military was doing, what the government was doing during this time, like how it actually affected people. Because you remember Frank came from a QZ zone that was
yeah,
just overrun.
yeah, yeah. Like 10 people with him and shit.
So
Original.
like they had multiple safe areas set up and only so few of them remained. Not to mention they weren't even allowing everybody in. Like
Yep.
that's stuff that we didn't get a chance to see from episode 1 or 2. And it was one of those images speak louder than words. Just seeing a graveyard full of everyone's bones, it flashed me back immediately to when Joel was with his daughter. Like they just
Yeah,
didn't care.
yeah. That shit was ruthless, bro.
And
I'm
Bill knew
also,
that from the start.
I'm still sick about Tess. I knew she got bit. I knew her ass got bit.
Mm.
I was sick as hell. The way she was acting when they were when he tried to help her bandage and shit, I was like, oh, her ass got bit.
Yeah, I thought so.
It's over with. It's
I
over.
thought it was sad seeing Bill talk about Tess in the letter. Like, make sure you
Yeah,
use my stuff to protect Tess. Like,
yeah, that was sad too. I was like, damn, she didn't even make it to see the letter. Uh-uh.
but overall, man, what's your score for it? We'll start with you, Malcolm, since you know you're not a hater, but still a hater.
We doing what, all 3 episodes or just this overall? This episode
Let's do this episode overall right now because
is long.
yeah, just
I think
episode
it's
We'll
three.
give
overall
our
because overall
overall
this is.
thoughts at
I
the
give
end
it
of
a
the
fucking
season.
for all 3 episodes. I give it a goddamn. I give it an A.
That's
I give it
respectful.
an A. I give it a solid A. As of right now, everything's on point. Everything's on course.
What about
Their
this
dialogue.
episode?
Yeah. What about just this episode in particular?
Is this episode? I mean, like I said, it wasn't. I didn't feel like it was not. It was not needed the whole thing. So I'd probably give it like a B minus like that. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Oh, like I said, bro, it was they could have shortened that up and showed some more of Joel and Ellie's adventure.
We're gonna get that through the rest of the season.
Hey, still.
All right, all right, all right. Jordy.
So far, series, I'm gonna go probably A plus. It started as good as any I've seen. So to follow that, I'm gonna have to go A plus on this episode. I think from beginning to end, it was great. Love the acting, love the story. Yeah, can't
I'm
be. I can't say more than I already have. It's great.
gonna say A plus for the episode because it was just done excellent. It sucked me in immediately, and I was hooked into like every part of their relationship. So that was awesome for me as a whole for the season. I'm gonna say A plus, but I'm gonna say a low A plus. So it'll be like a 98%, only because I still have an issue with that scene with Tess dying, where she's just sitting there flicking the lighter while there's just 30 grenades sitting on the ground. Why didn't she
Yeah.
just hold one of those bitches in her hand?
This man is still on about this.
Dude, that makes me so frustrated. She was just sitting there and waited to
Look
get
at that
my
shit.
mouth fucked by one of the infected instead of just, oh, I could have been waiting with a grenade in my hand instead of waiting here trying to flick a lighter that I've had in my pocket for the last 3 decades.
Yeah, I don't know about that one. That one was stupid right there. She could have just easily ended them all by grabbing a grenade.
Yeah, like you dumped the buckets of gas on the ground. You dumped all the Gatorade, all the not Gatorades, grenades all over the floor. Why didn't you just pick one of those bitches up, pull the pin, and hold it? That way, once you felt the tremor kick when everybody was there, boop.
I don't know.
I don't know. So anyway, still a great season. Still like love what's happening with the show. That is my only gripe, HBO Max. Y'all fucked that part up really hard. Tess should have died better. But anyways, that's that for our hot take on The Last of Us, episode 3. Please stay tuned. We will be dropping these weekly as long as nobody else falls asleep after an episode. But
Toke.
Jordy. Anyways, guys, you found us. You found our channel. Please find that like and subscribe button so that way we can keep building and keep putting out more videos for you. As always, thank you for finding us, though. We appreciate you and have a great rest of your night.
Court to court.